Hello, my beautiful friends, and welcome back to another week of the Whole Soul Podcast. Today, I want to talk about how abundance really exists in so many different forms because we have been so programmed to see abundance as monetary value or money or material things. And how could we not when our culture is so focused on money, on your career, of climbing the ladder to get as high as you can in terms of your income, when we prioritize things like designer clothing, expensive cars, and just looking forth at all of these very materialistic things. And I want to say there's nothing per se that is wrong with that. Money is a form of abundance, but the very sole focus on all of these material things and expensive luxury things has really pinpointed our viewpoint and our narrative on what abundance is, which makes us miss out on all of the other forms of abundance that exist within our life. So, one of the greatest forms of abundance that we all have access to is just being a human on this earth. It is abundance to have your 2 feet planted on the ground. It is abundance to have the earth beneath our feet. And I know you might think that sounds silly or like a spiritual concept, but it is so true. It is a miracle that you are here on this earth, that your soul has the opportunity to experience what it's like to be human. Like, truly, nature is so abundant. The nature of our world is so abundant. But when we're disconnected from that natural abundance, then we feel disconnected. We feel disconnected from the abundance of the earth, of the universe. But it is true that abundance is our birthright. It is all around us, but we just haven't been taught to see it or look out for it. We miss it because we have this idea of what abundance or what success really is. And that puts us into this cycle of lack and scarcity and feeling not enough, feeling low self-worth, feeling like you're not capable. It's because we don't have gratitude for the simplest things, like being here right now, being alive, having your breath that gives you life. Your breath is abundant. It is a gift to breathe. There's people out there that can't really breathe, or their lungs are collapsing, or they're experiencing health issues that aren't allowing them to live life in their fullest capacity of what it means to be fully alive and fully human. So that is abundance. Even the simplest things like having a roof over your head, having a bed to sleep in at night, having meals and food on your table, not going hungry, having clean water, your basic needs being met, that is a form of abundance. So to have gratitude for those little things when you're present is so expansive and really signals to the universe, to God, that you are noticing these gifts of abundance, that you are really soaking in the gift that life is giving you. Because if you don't, you just end up numbed out. You end up not appreciating the gifts that are in front of you. Simple things like food, shelter, water, breath, the earth beneath your feet. So I feel like the purpose of this podcast so far, this episode, is to really bring awareness to all the ways in which you are abundant right now. Because being in a frequency and a vibration of lack and scarcity is just not a vibe. It's not fun. It brings more fear energy. It brings contraction and feeling ill, sick, and just not good. It's because that a lot of times what happens is we just focus so much on what we don't have And we get so hyper fixated on what this success or abundance looks like or means, and we miss out on the present moment. We miss out on the abundance and the miracles of life that are already here. And I just want to say this doesn't mean that you have to abandon your goals and your dreams. No. We're not doing that. We're keeping our dreams in mind. But there is a balance and a fine line between how much you hyper focus on where you're going and also being here, where your feet are, rooted in the present moment, expressing and feeling gratitude for the gifts of life that it is giving you right now. There is a big difference between that. And it almost brings me to this picture in my mind's eye of the yin and yang, the light and the dark, and how it's a fine line, it's a balance. So when you can live on this fine line and walk the straight and narrow path of keeping your vision and your goal of what you are creating and stepping into in mind, while also being so fully rooted and present in your body, is almost like the key to living a balanced and fulfilled life in so many ways. And trusting that what you are creating and putting your energy towards, that prayer, that intention will be answered with time in divine timing when it's supposed to. Some more forms of abundance that we miss on a day-to-day are the smiles and the warmth and the connection and the hugs that we get from people we love. And it's hard to notice this when you're surrounded by people all the time, but if you're not, then you start to crave connection. You start to crave this humanness, this touch, this gentle human nature that we have. So the love you have in your life, your family, your friends, coworkers, maybe that you don't even fully vibe with, that is a form of abundance, having people in your life, people that you can trust and rely on and share your heart and your excitement and your wins and also your challenges with. So if you are ever feeling lack in your life, if you are feeling like you don't have enough, stop yourself right there, because you are going to keep spiraling. You are going to keep going into a darker and darker hole, thinking of all the reasons why you're not enough, or why you don't have enough, or why you're not abundant. Stop, ground yourself, be where your feet are, get out of your mind and into your body. You can quite literally shake it out, like jump, get into an open space and shake it out, because there's energy that you are holding that is quite literally consuming you, and you want to let that out. Ground yourself into the earth and remind yourself that you are here, you are alive, you are breathing, you are healthy, you have people in your life that you love, that love you. You have a home to sleep in, and you have the energy and vitality to work and create the life of your dreams. So as soon as you can start getting yourself in that habit and pattern of when you spiral into lack and scarcity, and tap back into gratitude and abundance for what you do have that is here right in front of you, this changes your state, this changes your frequency, this changes your vibration. And when you can hold and maintain this vibration of gratitude and abundance, the universe will just keep bringing more of that to you. Because when you are grateful, you are present. And when you are present, you are fully here, you are alive, you are aware of synchronicities, of miracles that are happening around you. And just being connected to that is such a gift, and brings more and more and more abundance. It brings the right people into your life. It brings the right opportunities, the right connections. It puts you in the right place at the right time. Whereas negativity and scarcity and lack and fear keeps you contracted. It keeps you stuck and stagnant in a place that you don't actually want to be. So the first step to tapping into a more abundant life is being where you are, noticing the abundance that already is here, It doesn't mean that you have to be exactly where you want to be to do this. It's about appreciating the moment of what you have and what you already do have, and trusting and knowing that by appreciating that, you will call more good into your life. I also want to say that money is a form of abundance. And as soon as you can stop attaching and hyperfixating and obsessing over this one outcome that you have so solidified in your mind, and just create a little bit of space for grace, for presence, for gratitude, that goal, that vision, that dream, that desire will come to you faster because you are letting go of your attachment and control and surrendering to the process of life, and also enjoying the process and the journey. Because when you start to tap into all of the forms of abundance around you, you will start to enjoy life more. You'll start to see that you are so supported and held and guided, and that God is actually working for you and not against you. And if you do feel like God is working against you, it's because you are closing yourself off, you are disconnecting, you are not allowing yourself to receive the gifts that life and God does want to offer you. So I hope that this episode landed. I hope that this at least expanded your awareness on all the different forms of abundance in your life. I even recommend going into your journal at some point today and just writing down all the ways in which abundance shows into your life. And I think it's really unique for all of us. So just really getting clear on all the ways in which you are abundant or how abundance shows up in your life really makes you more aware and present to pay attention when you actually are experiencing that abundance rather than focusing on lack and what you don't have. Make sure to follow this podcast and rate it on Spotify if you enjoyed it. And if you are seeking a community of women that is devoted to authentic connection, self-discovery, and really just stepping into and holding a higher frequency of being, you should check out the Whole Soul Collective. It's my community. We have just truly the best calls every single week of accountability, of support, of authentic, vulnerable connection that is just so expansive for each and every single one of us in the group. And really the energy that we create and cultivate on these calls carries out to our life outside of us. And it's just the most special thing to experience. It's reminding me of the power of women when we gather in community once a week, especially, and just the power that we reclaim within ourselves when we surround ourselves with powerhouse women. So if this strikes you, if this calls you or pulls you in any way, check out the link in the description. We're about halfway through the Artist's Way container right now, and we will be starting another container going into the summer centered around building self-confidence, really improving your relationship, connection, and knowledge about how to work with food as medicine and use food as a healing method, and really just building the most sovereign version of you that is a leader in her life. I love you so much. Thank you for being here with me today, and I will see you next week.